It's time to go beyond the headlines, cause I don't put in overtime just so I can headline. Okay, now it's Fox Sports, I'm live with Renee. Going hard every day, sports rapping every play. Different segments for your favorites, coming at you daily with positive vibes, yeah, we some game changers. Basketball, football, soccer, with different interviews, you never know who may pop up. Listen, only on Beyond the Headlines, this is Beyond the Headlines. Only on Beyond the Headlines, this is Beyond the Headlines. Only on Beyond the Headlines, this is Beyond the Headlines with Renee Washington.
We are one game away from the Super Bowl and one team that has been a household name, the Tennessee Titans. So it's only right that this week on Beyond the Headlines with Renee Washington, we bring in Turron Davenport, ESPN reporter for the Titans, to join us and break down the success they've been having this postseason. My goodness. Turron, welcome to the show, first of all.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
No problem. I'm happy to have you on. I know you're a busy man, especially now with the Titans getting prepared for the AFC Championship. Let's backtrack. They won a must-win game over the Texans to close out the regular season, get into the wild card round, stun the NFL world, knocking off Tom Brady and the Patriots. Then again, in the divisional round, beat Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Are they a Cinderella team as they now face Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship? I mean, talk about this run that the Titans have had to get to this point and be in the AFC Championship this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, it was just a matter of finding their formula and sticking to it, and it just took a little bit of time for everything to kind of fall into place. But now that it has, they are a team that's very tough to beat. Really, first things first, it was Derrick Henry and what he's brought to the table, just as a guy who is someone that teams game plan to stop, but they still can't do it. So you have that. And then even the quarterback change, that has been a big thing. They're a lot better in the red zone. You know, they went from 19th in the NFL to number 1 with Ryan Tannehill as the quarterback. So that's a big factor. The offensive line has played better. The defense has got it together. It's just everyone has collectively come together, and that has made them a really good team.
Yeah, and something you said it to start that off is that everything's, been clicking right now. So have you heard any common, messages or speeches or anything, or common themes in the interviews and discussions with, the players and coaches that you think is attributing to that?
Well, I wouldn't say any particular comment or anything is attributing to that. It's just they're playing ball. But, I mean, one of the things that they stuck to, even going back to training camp, Derrick Henry, he said, why not us? And basically with that, his mindset was, why can't it be them that wins it all? And that's just kind of something that they've carried along. But even the brotherhood and just playing for each other, that's something that they are very big on. I got some of the guys to talk about that on Monday, and they just, got into the fact that they've shed tears together. They've worked hard together. So it's a lot easier to go hard for somebody, that's a brother and not a teammate. That's one of the things that Ben Jones, the center, said. Kevin Byard talked about being a leader and talked about just the way they need to be able to hold each other accountable. That's another part of the brotherhood that they have. So if anything, those are probably the things that they've kind of hung their helmets on, so to speak. But really, it's just hard work and going out there and playing disciplined, team, complementary football.
Yeah, and you bring up a lot of good points. Why not us? And the Titans have had their plenty of ups and downs throughout the season. They're a team that coming into the playoffs was not really on a lot of people's radars. We expected big things from the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, expected big things from Lamar Jackson. I can't say big things. Expected big things from Tom Brady and the Patriots. Ryan Tannehill and the Titans were not a team that people were predicting to get past the first round, let alone past the second round and now be in the AFC Championship. And for you having been there from beginning to end, you talk about the quarterback changes and how they've been better in the red zone. Defensively, what have you also seen from the Titans that really has helped them to get stops, like we saw against the Patriots in a huge play in the final plays of the game to get a pick six? What are these things that you're seeing defensively on that side of the ball from the Titans right now?
Well, they're impacting the passer with their guys up front, whether it be Jarrell Casey, who had 2 sacks, including a sack strip last week against the Ravens. And he's someone who they're using on stunts. They're using him on twists.
Stops like we saw against the Patriots in a huge play in the final plays of the game to get
their guys up front, whether it be Jarrell Casey, who had 2 sacks, including a sack strip last week against the Ravens. And he's someone who they're using on stunts. They're using him on twists.
stops like we saw against the Patriots in a huge play in the final plays of the game to get a pick six.
With their guys up front, whether it be Jarrell Casey, who had 2 sacks, including a sack strip last